This is Suyesh here, and in this video we'll be just continuing in the section of our pharmacology. In the general pharmacology, we'll be discussing the second part of the video in the section of our routes of drug administration. Okay, in the first video we have discussed actually this basic charts, okay, the basic routes we have discussed and the names and some points related to that. Now in this video we'll be taking one like in the systemic route we're taking the antral part, that is we're discussing oral, rectal and sublingual in detail. What are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, how we get what is the pathway for giving oral routes, and some of the drugs, basic drugs we'll be discussing in this video. Okay, so this video watch this video first of all and then come to this video. Okay, so let's start with the first. As you know, we have the local and the systemic routes. So in the systemic route we have antral and parenteral route. So in this video we are discussing the antral route. Clear? So now let's start with the antral route. So antral, I have said you in the first video we have discussed the antral meaning is actually the drugs which are going inside the GIT. Okay, absorption through GIT, absorption through GIT. Clear? And parenteral away from GIT. So in parenteral we will be discussing in the next video. In this video we will just discussing the antral routes, the oral, rectal and the sublingual route. Clear? So now let's start with the first oral route. So oral meaning you are taking the drug through your mouth, okay, mouth, and it is one of the most common route and the oldest route. Okay, so it is the oldest and the most common route which is actually the most of the drugs are actually administered through the oral routes. And what is the second point related to that is the safest route. So these are actually the advantages of this route if we consider, because it is safe also. Safe is an advantage for this. And the third point is that the drugs can be given in both the forms, that is you can give the drug in the solid form also and in the liquid doses form also. Solid meaning you can give in tablets, capsules you are having. Okay, so these are the basic ways you are administrating the drugs. In liquid you can give syrups, mixtures are there. Okay, so all these are the ways you can administer the drug through oral routes. These are the advantages of the oral route. And the third point is non-invasive. You don't have to invade any type of skin as we do in the section of our, like in the parenteral route, in the injections we actually inject or invade in the skin. Okay, so that task we don't have to do in this in the case of the oral route. So it is also an advantage. Clear? And it is painless also, as we are not invading any organ or any skin, so there is no pain. Often there is no pain. Clear? And there is no need of assistance. Assistance meaning the doctor prescribes you the medicine and you go to the home, and according to the doses and in the day how many times you have to take the drug, so you actually take by your own. So you don't need any type of assistant, doctor or nurse for taking the drugs. Okay, so it is also one of the advantage as compared to injections. For injections you need some paramedical staffs like nurse or compounders. Okay, so doctors also sometimes, so they actually there needs a assistance. So in this case it is an advantage here. And third is economically it is cheaper route of administration, because the medicines which are given orally are very cheap as compared to the injections. Clear? So these are the basic advantages, or you can say, are the points related to the oral route. Now if we go in the section of our disadvantages, so in disadvantages we are having the first point is the action is actually slow. This meaning of slow is that it will take around, the action of drug will be coming into the period is around 60 to 90 minutes. 60 to 90 minutes, after 60 to 90 minutes of administration through the mouth, the drug will show its effect. Okay, so that is why the action is slow, and that is why you can't give the drug in the case of emergencies. So if the patient is having any emergency pain or any type of emergency case is there, you have to give the medicine. So in that case you will avoid the oral route. Okay, so that is the main disadvantage for the oral routes, first point. And the second is food in the if the drug goes inside the stomach, so if the food is present, so that is why the absorption will be delayed due to the presence of food inside the stomach. Okay, so that is why the doctor prescribes some of the drugs to take before the meal for the faster absorption of the drug. So that is also a main disadvantage in the case of oral route. Okay, if you are taken a food with food, it will be, absorption will be delayed. Okay, as I told you, not suitable in the case of emergencies. And some are sometimes destroyed by the digestive juice due to the higher pH higher pH of your digestive system. Okay, so like the insulin, if you give insulin, it will be destroyed by the digestive juice, so there will be no effect of the insulin in the case of diabetic patients. So that is why we do not give the insulin in the form of tablets or through oral routes. Clear? And sometimes it is also, the drugs are also destroyed by the liver, that is the first pass metabolism. So that is why the drugs may be metabolized by the liver before the absorption. Sometimes the absorption is not done, now the drugs are fully metabolized in the liver, so there is no, if you have given 100 mg of drug through oral route, at a time comes you have left with only 5 mg of drug after the metabolization in the liver, so the effect is around nil. So you have given 100 mg and you are seeing a 5 mg of effect. So that is the case, the drugs may be metabolized by the liver before the absorption. Okay, so these are the disadvantages, and some is there, absorptions are variable, so you can't predict that this drug will be has a higher absorption, this drug will be have a lower absorption, so we can't predict. So that is why the different drugs have different absorptions, that is why absorption is variable, so it is also an disadvantage. Clear? And the last disadvantage and most important is that can't be used in the patient with unconscious or comatose patients, or the patients who are vomiting very frequently, emetic patients. So in that patients we can't use the oral route, because if the patient is vomiting, you can't give the drug through the oral route, and if unconscious, in that case also you can't administer through the oral route. So these are the disadvantages. And the common drugs like antibiotics, you can give antibiotics, you actually administer through this route, amoxicillin, paracetamol you can also give. So these are the common drugs, you know about that. Now let's move on to the rectal route, the second, the lower opening in our body. Clear? Now in the case of rectal route, what happens is that the drugs are irritant actually, and unpleasant drugs actually we administer through the rectal route and can be put into the rectum as a suppositories or retention enema for the systemic effect. Okay, so we actually administer the drugs which are irritant or unpleasant drugs which can't go through the mucous membranes, or as the mouth is having a mucous membrane, so they are irritant, so that drugs we can administer through the rectal routes. Okay, and what is the important point in this case is that this route is used when the patient is having a vomiting or is unconscious. I told you this is one of the disadvantages of the oral route, and if this if this problem is there in the patients, then we prefer the route of rectal route. So that is this is the main advantage for this route. If the patient is comatose or unconscious or vomiting frequently, then we use this rectal route for the administration of drugs. Okay, and through rectal route the drug is prevented from GI damage, as the drug will not go inside the gastrointestinal tract, that is stomach, intestine, and that is why the drug is prevented from the GI damage. So this is one of the advantage of rectal route. And second, another point is that the absorbed drug through the point is that if we give the drug through the rectal route, we administer the drug through two veins in the rectum, that is external hemorrhoidal veins and the internal hemorrhoidal veins. The concept behind the external hemorrhoidal vein is that it bypasses the liver. About 50% of drug bypasses the liver, doesn't go inside the liver, so there is no such first pass metabolism, or there is some clearance of the drugs by the enzymes of the livers which are present against these drugs, and they actually clear some of the parts of the drugs. So in that case, the external hemorrhoidal veins does not go through the liver and bypasses the liver, so it is most of the drugs are absorbed through external hemorrhoidal veins. But if the drug is absorbed through internal hemorrhoidal veins, there is no such prevention from the bypass of liver. Okay, so they go through the first pass metabolism. Clear? So the main point, about 50%, not 100% bypasses, but about 50% there is bypass from the liver. Clear? And disadvantage is there that absorption is slow and irregular, and sometimes there can be the drugs can be irritant to the rectal mucosa and cause rectal inflammation. Clear? And the route is also inconvenient or embarrassing, as in the adult patient they will not allow to administer the drug through the rectal routes, but in child you can give, they will not say anything, but in adults there is a problem, or it is somewhat embarrassing to the patients. Clear? And the drugs in one of the important drugs are like diazepam and PCMS, paracetamol, are rapidly absorbed from the rectum in the children. So in children we actually administer diazepam, is actually used for epilepsy, the seizures. So it is actually the drug which is used in epilepsy. Clear? And PCM are rapidly absorbed through from rectum in children actually. So diazepam and PCM are given in children, okay, through the rectal route for the better and the fast absorption. Clear this much? So this was actually the rectal route, okay. So rectal and oral we have done. Now let's move on to the last enteral route, that is our sublingual route, okay. So sublingual route we have discussed the drugs which we give under the tongue, okay, placed under the tongue or crust inside the mouth, okay. So it is also called as buccal route, as its absorption is through the buccal mucosa or the small veins that are present under the tongue or around the buccal mucosa. Clear this much? And what happens is that we place the drug under the tongue, and or sometimes the drug is crushed inside the mouth, and after that the drug is spread over through the all over the buccal mucosa. Clear? And the drugs which we gives are actually lipid soluble only. So we can only give the drugs which are actually lipid soluble and non-irritating drugs, because the buccal mucosa is very irritant and there can be inflammation on some type of rectal that is in the buccal mucosa. So we actually administer the drug which are non-irritating drugs, okay. So these are the important points related to that, and the advantage is that the absorption is very rapid, okay, relatively rapid as compared to the oral and the rectal route, okay. And the one more advantage is that one can spit the drug after a desired effect is obtained, okay. If you have administered the drug under the tongue, now if you like you take an example of angina, okay, if you have a heart pain, okay, in the pain in the heart, if you administer the nitroglycerin instantly under the tongue, now if the pain has actually gone away, if the pain is gone away and you are having still the tablet is under the tongue, then after that you can spit out the tablet, okay. If the effect is obtained, if the pain is gone, then you can spit out the tablet, okay. So that is one of the advantage in the case of sublingual route, okay. And now if we specifically see the main advantages, first advantage is it actually bypasses fully the first pass metabolism, because it is absorbed directly through the small capillaries and vessels which are present under the tongue, and that is why it bypasses the first pass metabolism. We will discuss in the video of absorption what is first pass, but in brief, if you want to understand, it is just the drugs when go inside the GIT, they are actually absorbed and now they passes through the portal circulation, that is through the liver, and there they have a detoxification or some clearance through the liver enzymes. So that process is actually skipped by the drugs which are administered through the sublingual route, okay. So that is why they have the rapid absorption because of this bypass, and drug is most of the drugs means the amount of drug is mostly, if you have given 100 mg, then around 80 mg or 90 mg will be absorbed, okay. Bioavailability will be high because of that, because it is bypassing the first pass of metabolism. And second advantage is that it bypasses the destruction from the stomach acid, as it is not going inside the stomach. So in the stomach the pH level is very low, that is why the drugs can be destroyed. So because of that, then the drugs will not left in that amount which you have given to the patient, so the effect will be minimum, okay. So effect will be decreased, the effect of the drug will be decreased in the patient. So that from that you are also prevented by giving this by this route, okay. And saliva has a neutral pH, and that is why the drug stability is maintained, okay. So saliva is having a neutral pH, as we know, in the buccal mucosa, so drug is not destroyed by the saliva's pH. So that is also a main advantage in the case of sublingual route, okay. And disadvantage, only one disadvantage, it is limited to drugs that are given in small doses. If the doctor prescribes a drug which is to be given in a small dose, okay, so those drugs are actually prevented by this routes, okay. And if you talk about the examples, we have the nitroglycerin and the buprenorphine, okay. And one other drug is desmoxytocin. So main drug is your nitroglycerin, which we give in actually anti-anginal drug it is. So it anti-anginal drug, and this drug we actually give in angina patients, okay, who have instant heart pain. Clear? So this was the systemic route in which we have discussed the oral, rectal and the sublingual route. This we have discussed this three. In the next video we'll be just moving on to the injectable routes, and after that we'll be moving on to the non-injectable route in detail, okay. So thank you, do like, share and subscribe the channel.